the way, I've got the Associated Press. Well, I just saw it up on screen. Mainstream news reporting that the whole Obama administration is saying they're going to raise taxes on everybody. The carbon taxes are tax on everybody, but health care taxes, taxes over people making $30,000 a year, they're lying about everything. And it's not cute and it's not funny. Army National Guard advertises for internment specialist. Doubt the government plans to impose martial law and round up dissenters and other malcontents. Well, the Army National Guard is advertising for qualified personnel to work as corrections officers and internment resettlement specialists. And we've got links to the job ads. We got links to the Army National Guard. And it goes into domestic and foreign operations, civilian, corrections officers, lockdowns, cordons, rehabilitative programs is key. It actually says the re-education centers. I should have started the whole show with this alone. Tomorrow, 11 to 3, I'll cover it all in detail. You actually read this stuff and you can't believe it's happening in the Soviet Union. It would be hard to believe in America. All I got to tell the yuppies and everybody else is you better get upset about freedom and liberty and not about what the UT basketball team or the Michigan State football team is doing. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a lot of trouble here. And I just can't even describe to people how bad this is. And then Obama, again, does this bait and switch. Oh, I'm going to shut down Guantanamo and set up camps for foreigners and citizens in the U.S. with no rights, and it's in the Enemy Combatant Act from Bush. He's keeping all of it. Got that story. Here's a woman in New York. She was seen taking a photo of a military base, and they found a shotgun in her trunk that she legally owned. And the cops are in here saying, well, she legally had it, but the gun's scary, so we went ahead and arrested her anyways. Gun nut busted at base. And then it turns out that you go to her website, it's Glenn Beck and me, basically. She's got me posted on there, Glenn Beck and others, mainly Fox News clips. She's kind of a mainline Republican starting to wake up. So the mother of three, no criminal record, goes out to the base, takes a photo of it. They come off base, grab her, no crime, but in fact, let me just read it or people won't believe this. A Long Island mother of three, armed to the teeth with an assault rifle and shotgun in her trunk, was arrested for scouting out and taking pictures of an Air National Guard base in the Hamptons, authorities said. Suffolk County Under Sheriff Joseph Carcappa said Nancy Genovese, 53, was arrested for trespassing outside the airport. So how do you trespass outside the airport? Tuesday night. She said she was taking photographs of the perimeter of the base. A search of her car uncovered an arsenal of a AR-15, a shotgun. That's not an arsenal. And an arsenal is not illegal. When asked what she was doing, she replied, nothing. These are registered weapons, but they are scary weapons, said the police chief. So she's in jail, and they couldn't charge her, so they put her in a mental institution. Life over. And every day I see articles where they arrest people for their guns. It'll say, the 74-year-old veteran was arrested. A neighbor saw him cleaning it in the garage. Police said they were threatened by the fact that he owned 8 rifles. I mean, I see it every day. This woman thought the base was a FEMA camp. Of course, we looked it up. It is one. But hey, don't talk about the FEMA camps or it's over for you. How are they getting the doctors in the U.S. and England to take the shots? Paying U.S. doctors as much as $50,000 to be part of the federal program, and British as much as 27,000 pounds. Oh, man, my head's spinning, ladies and gentlemen. It's spinning here. Look at this one. You can go listen to 2 hours of her testimony. She's finally breaking the gag order. She said on this show, 4 years ago, FBI, NSA translator. She sits there listening and translating and typing it out for the snoops. She went to the Congressional 9/11 Commission. She went to the Whitewash Second Commission. And she said drug dealing, money laundering, child kidnapping, it's all run by the CIA and private crime syndicates with Al-Qaeda. And, of course, we know on record Al-Qaeda was used to attack the Serbs. Al-Qaeda was used to attack the Russians. Al-Qaeda is being used, according to the White House, to attack the Iranians who are Shiite. Al-Qaeda was created in 1979 by the CIA on record. And we knew that they had that staged war in Afghanistan. They would just shell empty hillsides. And the Taliban and al-Qaeda would kidnap 12, 13, 14-year-olds and stick them in foxholes. And it turned out the Army was coordinating at high level, general and above level, general, one-star generals and above were coordinating literal decoys, just kids they would kill for the news cameras. Then they took over Kabul and the other Afghan major cities, and they flew the 6,000 Taliban and al-Qaeda out to safety, paid them in gold bars, protected them. Special forces occasionally would capture them. They'd be ordered to release them. That's mainstream news, just all that Google airlift of evil. You'll see MSNBC about it. And then the government said, we accidentally flew out al-Qaeda. And a few months ago, NBC was sitting there yelling at the Pakistani president saying, why do you support al-Qaeda? And the guy laughed and said, you run al-Qaeda. You have them trying to overthrow our government right now. But see, that's so bold to be running al-Qaeda. But that's, to use a child's analogy, Emperor Palpatine became emperor in Star Wars by staging attacks against himself. Now, that's been declassified. The Pentagon does this all over the world. That's why George Lucas admitted at Cannes when they came out with Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, that this is what's happening in the real world. But for adults that can't get this, go rent Episode 3 or watch it on demand or get it at iTunes. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. You'll understand everything. Okay? I mean, this is Revenge of the Sith. Bombshell. Bin Laden worked for U.S. until 9/11. Bin Laden is Count Dooku. And they kill him. They kill him now, a long time ago. In the interview, Sybil Edmonds says, and then see, the outside attacker is really meant to attack the Republic. Now they've said the police state was for al-Qaeda. Now they say it's for gun owners, conservatives, and returning vets. It's for the Republic. It's for the people that'll defend the liberty. It's for the Jedi. You understand how this works, folks? I'll use a child analogy to get to the yuppies, because they can't grasp government-sponsored stage terror like Gulf of Tonkin, attacking our ships, staging an attack to blame it on foreign enemies. Hitler firebombing his own Reichstag. There it is, MSNBC, airlift of evil. In an interview, Sybil Edmonds says the U.S. maintained intimate relations with bin Laden and the Taliban all the way up until the day of September 11th. These intimate relations included using bin Laden for operations in Central Asia, including China. These operations involve using al-Qaeda and the Taliban in the same manner. Yeah, a month ago, they launched al-Qaeda attacks in China. These people, as we did during the Afghan and Soviet conflict, that is fighting enemies via proxies. Sybil has previously described, as she relates in the latest interview, the process involved using Turkey with assistance from actors from Pakistan and Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia as a proxy, which in turn used bin Laden, the Taliban, and others as proxy terrorist army. You use them to take down the Serbs, you use them to take down the Iranians, you use them to take down everybody. You use them to take the blame for attacking the U.S. to destroy our freedom. Emperor Palpatine has to take everybody's freedom to protect the Republic. The goals of the American statesmen directing these activities included control of Central Asia's vast energy supplies and new markets for military products. See, they got to have you've got this $1.5 trillion defense budget and then another 500+ billion sold each year by U.S. arms makers. They're going to go spend a few $100 million with their fake Arab army. And they got them. I mean, it's simple. Business is war. They own the small enemy. Let me see. You get $2 trillion for putting $100 million a year into some guys with beards who love living in giant palaces that are like high-fiving the CIA. This is the greatest thing ever. I mean, it works like an absolute charm. It goes on and on. It's 2 hours of her laying it all out. Bin Laden, total al-Qaeda, totally protected. Had nothing to do with 9/11, but taking the blame for it. It's all theater. It's all theater. And then they get to set up the police state as a pretext to control you, the American people. And then they use carbon tax to tax and control you as well. Look, I know we have loaded phone lines. Show's over. Back next Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. Back tomorrow, 11 to 3 Central. Infowars.com, prisonplanet.tv are the websites. There's a bunch of other news I didn't get to. The flu situation is just incredible. And I've got a lot of big guests this week coming up and next weekend to cover that. We've got big breaking news on the Obama birth certificate info at Infowars.com, but with more of a skeptical eye towards it, but an open mind.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done has been right.